Economist magazine declared 2019 the year of the vegan and cited that a quarter of 24 to 34-year-old Americans identify as either vegan or vegetarian. I'm sure we have all experienced this diet gaining popularity in our own lives, whether it's a family member or friend who has gone vegan, a new plant-based item on the menu at your favorite restaurant, or you yourself have chosen to change your diet. Data from Google Trends seen here shows the search for vegan increased exponentially over the last 10 years, surpassing both gluten-free and vegetarian diets. So what is veganism and why is it becoming so popular? The Vegan Society defines veganism as a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practical, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals. Dietary veganism specifically is a way to do this through eating. There are people who choose to eat vegan for personal health reasons, animal cruelty reasons, and one of the main reasons is for the health of the planet. Some quick statistics show the colossal impact that animal agriculture has on the environment. A UN report from 2013 estimated that 14.5% of all greenhouse gas emissions come from livestock, which is roughly equivalent to all emissions from all forms of transportation. A Greenpeace report predicted that left unchecked, agriculture will produce 52% of global greenhouse gas emissions in the coming decades, 70% of which will come from meat and dairy. The Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy found that the 5 largest meat and dairy corporations combined are responsible for more greenhouse gases than Shell, BP, and Exxon. Animal agriculture is also responsible for up to 91% of Amazon forest destruction. Animal agriculture also accounts for more than half of all the water used in the U.S. So, can veganism really help with such a large-scale issue? An overwhelming body of research says yes. One such study in the Journal of National Academy of Sciences shows that if the entire world became vegan, it would cut food-related carbon emissions by 70%. The number of U.S. consumers that identify as vegan grew from 1% to 6% between 2014 and 2017. While 6% is not a lot, it is important to note that this is a 600% increase in just 3 years. Additionally, sales of plant-based alternatives to animal-based foods over the past year grew 17%. And 95% of U.S. grocery stores now sell plant-based meat products, meaning that even if people are not identifying as vegans, they are making dietary changes in that direction. When did you become a vegan?
About 1.5 years ago.
And why did you become a vegan?
I took a class a couple years ago about how important it was to reduce greenhouse gases, and a lot of that comes from the mass production of meats. And so I decided to try it, and I went vegetarian for a while, and then I decided to try vegan, and it's actually a lot easier than a lot of people made it seem to be, and I really enjoyed it, so I stuck with it. One of the things I love about being vegan is I grow my own plants. So this is red leaf lettuce, this is kale, spinach, kale, some more red leaf, spinach. These guys are gonna be basil. Yeah.
So I went vegan because the dairy and meat industry both negatively impact the environment, with animal agriculture being the top contributor to climate change. And now, after being vegan for almost 2.5 years, I just find that eating a plant-based diet is what works best for my body and what I feel best about putting into my body. That is both from an ethical and health standpoint.
Obviously, the whole world will not become vegan overnight, but each individual making a change does make a difference. A 2018 Oxford University study, which is the most comprehensive analysis to date of the damage that farming can do to our planet, found that avoiding meat and dairy is the single biggest way to reduce your impact on Earth, as animal farming produces just 18% of calories, but takes up 83% of our farmland. This graphic shows how simple moves toward a less animal-dependent diet could have huge benefits. It's difficult to create a policy that restricts people from eating animal products and forces them to become vegan. So if we can't make people become vegan, then how can a dietary change be viewed as a solution? Well, as the previous stats have listed, even minor shifts in diet can make a huge difference. One way that this can be encouraged is through education. Many people still believe that dairy products and meat are necessary to maintain a healthy diet. Dispelling these ideas is one way to begin a shift toward more environmentally friendly consumption. Research clearly shows that calcium and protein can be maintained through plant-based diets. Governmental recommendations for a healthy diet, such as Choose My Plate, can do better to emphasize that protein portions can be gained from non-meat sources and that it is possible to have a healthy diet without dairy. Additionally, campaigns that raise awareness, such as the Meatless Monday campaign, and those that are started by celebrities such as Beyonce and Jay-Z, who challenge their Instagram followers to eat more plant-based meals and track their environmental impact using green print, can make a difference. More institutional shifts toward veganism are already occurring. The Los Angeles School District in the 2018 to 2019 school year began serving vegan meals. In 2017, Portugal became the first country to enact a law that requires all public buildings such as schools, hospitals, and prisons to offer a vegan meal option. The U.S. has the potential to lead the way toward more vegan diets by encouraging more vegan options in institutions such as public schools. Additionally, environmental impact labeling could help to encourage a shift towards these diets. With a larger scale shift toward vegan diets, the government might support financially and educationally farmers to shift from livestock to horticulture or other land use. Obviously, there are those who would benefit and those who would suffer from a shift in consumption. Mainly, companies who produce alternative meat and dairy products are likely to have an increase. Other winners might be those who actually reduce the meat and dairy consumption from their diets, as well as healthcare systems, who are overwhelmed, particularly in the U.S., with heart disease and diabetes, which have been shown to decrease with less red meat and dairy consumption, since these items are also high in fat. On the other hand, meat and dairy companies would suffer from a decrease in demand, while plant producers might benefit. Research has calculated that 3/4 of the environmental and health benefits from changing diets would occur in developing countries, and developed countries would actually gain more per capita. Perhaps the biggest winner would be the environment that is consistently damaged on a day-to-day basis from the meat and dairy industry. Veganism is an important solution to consider in terms of drastically reducing our impact on the environment and surviving in a sustainable way. Although large-scale enforced changes are difficult to make, consumer demand has already had an effect on the meat and dairy alternatives being offered, and may eventually sway more institutions, including the government, to encourage vegan diets so that we can maintain a sustainable future.